Hello, hello, and welcome back for another month of the Mixed Media Menagerie. As you know, this is a collaboration between Laura, Nicole, and myself. And this month we are super excited to welcome our guest artist, Hope, over from CraftyHope. So be sure to check out her links all down in the description box below. For the month of June, we're going to be working with gel plates, stencils, two colors, black and white. Oh my gosh, I'm excited about this, but also a little nervous because I haven't used a gel plate in forever. So let's jump into the video. Hey, hi, how you doing? All right, I've got my Menagerie basket here. My journal is inside, and then we've got our black and white paint here, and then I'm gonna use like a purple and a bluish color, I think I've decided. And then I have two different sizes of gel plates here. I've got a big one and then a smaller square one, and we are just gonna play today. Like, I have no idea where this is gonna go, but let's jump into the studio playtime. So here is my giant plate, and I'm just adding some white to it. If you've ever gel plated before, it's like you don't have control over what is gonna happen or how it's gonna come out. So it's kind of scary, but I guess kind of freeing at the same time. It is, I don't know. Like, practice makes perfect, but it's not something that I feel like I always want to practice a lot. I know that sounds horrible, but it's just like not my thing. So I'm excited that we have this as a prompt to, get myself out of my comfort zone and to play a little bit. So here I'm just layering up, and then I'm putting the paint directly into my journal. So here I've added some of that purple on top, and then we're going to lay out my journal again and press it in there. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video. I use some deli paper, some regular paper, just to try and clean up my plate, but I'll add a little music and then I'll check back in here shortly. So now we're going to break out that smaller square plate, and I'm going to use a tiny little 6x6 stencil here and put a little patterning onto my book. Now, as I was filming this, I guess my camera had zoomed in a little bit too much, so most of my journal is hidden, but I hope that you'll kind of figure out what I'm doing down there. I'm just spreading the ink, or the paint from the gel plate onto the page, and now I'm going to go with a purple here, and I'm just going to spread it with my brayer and then add that same stencil again so I can get kind of a layered effect. So we have the white and then also kind of this purplish color to give us a little bit of texture and some interest into the background, which is just kind of like that light purplish blue whiteness. Now I'm going to bring in some black. I've got this word stencil here, and I'm trying to brayer through. I don't know what was going on today. Yeah, just a hot mess day, but that's okay because we're still going with it. So I took the paint from the gel plate and actually pushed it through the stencil this time because the brayer just didn't seem to be working. And now I'm just taking the extra paint that was on the gel plate and just putting it onto the page. So it's kind of giving it a little bit of that grungy sort of feel. And now I'm pushing it through the stencil this time to try and get a little bit of wording, but that did not work. So, one thing with the gel plate is you just have to be playful and explore, and sometimes things work and sometimes they don't, which can get a little frustrating. But anyways, so now I wanted to add just a little bit more interest to the page. So I have some white paint on some deli paper here. I'm using it as my palette paper, and I'm going to use another stencil and just sort of break up that background a little bit more to create a little bit more interest there. And just going to move that around the page a bit. And now I'm like, what do I want to do next? I looked over and I saw this face peeking out from the patterning, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then there was another one too, and it was almost like they were connected. So I thought that is going to be my focal. It's going to be really basic, nothing too like exciting, but it was like this whole theme of connection is what I was feeling, like connected to your higher self, connected to, you know, the love of your life, connected to your family, connected to strangers. It was just like connection. So instantly I was like, that is where this page is going. It's going to be about connection. So I just took my Stabilo and I drew the faces on there, and now I just wanted to add a little bit more of the words there. But again, my brayer was not putting the paint through, so I ended up just using my finger to kind of like move the paint around through the stencil, and hey, that worked. Yeah, so I just want to kind of have like the words sort of connected there and then kind of bring them up the page. Not just, you know, not like having it all immediately look connected, but just a little bits to kind of draw your eye across the page. And now I'm just adding a little bit of white to activate that Stabilo and kind of deepen up that darkness. And if you saw this in the beginning, I hadn't realized it until now, but I was like, oh my gosh, I did not tape up the sides of my journal, and I was completely shattered, but I was like, that's okay. It's gonna have that grungy feel. And so I drew a border with the Stabilo pencil, and now I'm just again activating that to give it kind of that grunge feel. And then we're gonna go ahead and dry that up really well. And while that's drying, I'll remind you to play along with us. Use the tag along hashtags, the hashtag Mixed Media Menagerie and MMMJune22, so that way we can find all of your videos or your artwork over on Instagram. So yeah, definitely use the prompts and play along. We'd love to see what you come up with this month. And we're back. So I found some little stamp letters and I spelt out the word connection. It's all capitals, lowercase. There's even a couple different fonts in there as well, but it didn't matter because again, connection comes in all shapes and forms. It's not uniform. Yeah, it's just whatever. So I did it in white, and then I went ahead and also stamped it in each color. So here I am stamping it. I did it with the black. Now we've got the blue and then the purple as well. And I just kind of put that word down in that bottom left corner. And then the word eternal popped into my mind, but I didn't want it just plain by itself. So I spelt out eternus, which is the Latin word for eternal. Eternal connection. We are all connected infinitely and forever through, yeah, high vibrations, love, and light. And that is going to finish up our spread this month. It was super basic, lots of fun play, pretty grungy, which of course is my style. I'm loving that there's just, it kind of feels like chaos in the background, but then you have these two people connected, and it's like no matter what chaos is going on, you know, that vibrational connection's still there. And then the faces almost do like a figure 8, which is like the infinity sign. So I really was kind of feeling like, woo, Spirit spoke through this page for me. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Lots of love going out to you all. Be sure to check out all of the links for the ladies down in the description box below. And until the next time we get together, happy creating.